Hello friends, welcome to DreamLeague. It's a great day, but also a sad day. And that's why we have Thomas playing the sad music, because we are without the one, the only Sir Action Slacks. We're gonna miss him. He's gone off to do PUBG stuff, so don't miss him too much, but miss him anyway. We just have this 1/10 scale model replica to keep us company, so you got me instead, but we'll miss you, Jake.
It's very sad music, but personally, I don't see a reason to be sad. I finally did it. I have my own show. Sure, people want to call it, Corsair DreamLeague Season 9. Great, I'll let them. But in fact, it is the Shiver Show. It's really that simple. I have my own desk. I have a couch for if people want to, come chat with me. They have their own space. I have my own space. It's how it should be. It's going to be amazing. I've gotten 8 teams here. Yeah, I did that. It was all me. And they'll play in a double elimination. That's my favorite format. And yeah, I'll make sure that we are going to get some great games. Welcome to the Shiver Show. Now, there wouldn't be a great show if there weren't any guests. So I do have guests. Don't worry. We'll entertain you throughout the coming 5 days of Dota 2. And my first guest is actually Period Flax. Hey, Ted.
Hey, Sheebs.
How you doing?
Real good.
How are you liking your Thomas walking music?
I'm loving it. Thank you. Yeah, good stuff. Thanks, crowd. Loving that. Yeah. Whew. It's great to be here, Sheebs. We just flew in.
Yeah. How was your travels here?
It was good. Yeah, it was good. Easier than you guys, that's for sure.
Oh, well, I mean, I still had a relaxing time. You know, I got my own show. It's very
You got your own show. I'm happy to be on it. I'm the first guest on the Shiva Show. That's a true honor. So thank you. Yeah.
So what have you been up to lately?
Playing Dota.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, nothing else?
No. Maybe some CSGO.
Yeah, maybe some CSGO.
Yeah.
When do you play CSGO? What's the right time?
After Dota. After we've lost a game of Dota, or after we've really, really crushed a game, and you can't get better than that.
You can't
so
top it.
We're not going to top that. We'll play some CSGO, but yeah, mainly still the Dotes. Yeah.
So how hyped are you for the coming 5 days?
I'm loving it. There's a lot of stories here, that's for sure. So we'll cover some of those in the chat. But this should be exciting. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on. I'm looking forward to seeing how some of the teams perform.
How are you liking the crowd?
The crowd is something special. I wonder if we can get a round of applause from the crowd. Maybe not. There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah,
they love you, Ted. They love you. They really do.
Yeah.
And I have Thomas.
Thomas is fantastic. Yeah, we have a live band, obviously, on the Shiva Show. Wouldn't be the Shiva Show without live music.
True.
So we got Thomas, who's going to play intro music for people and incidental stuff. There you go.
Because
he's the man.
He's the man.
Yeah. He was once in ZZ Top. So.
Was he actually?
Yeah. Look at that beard. That's how you get in.
You would be able to fool me. All right, you know what? Would this make the show a little bit better? Even?
Yeah, sure. If it could get a little better, why don't we try? Yeah, sure. What do you think?
I mean, I'm happy you're here.
Yeah.
And I want you to be here the whole time.
I understand that.
All right. Yep. But sometimes, we need a little bit of diversity.
Mix
as well.
it up.
Mix it up.
Yeah.
And would you have it? We actually have more people that just happen to be in the neighborhood.
No, I don't believe it. Wait, they'd have to knock on the door if they wanted to come in, Sheebs, wouldn't they?
Surely.
Knock. Jeez. All right.
Come in. Who is it?
Hey, it's having a fun. What's up? You gotta shut the door. Jeez, we don't live in a barn.
How's it going?
Real good. How
Real
are you
good.
going?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
I'm good.
are you guys
Owen kind of elbowed me a little bit.
Oh,
there,
that's
but I'm
not-
good. I'm good.
Yeah, I noticed that. He's a bit mean, isn't he?
That's all right.
So you guys come from across the globe.
We did.
We did?
You good?
Yeah?
Awake?
Yeah, long
No,
travel, but
no,
don't feel
yeah.
good. You're not awake?
I'm good.
I'm awake.
Where am I?
Had like 8 monsters within the last few days.
Yeah, you
Moderate.
guys have done crazy traveling. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when we were at Starladder, you guys were telling me all the events you've got coming up, and it was like
Yep.
a list of things, and I was like, this is unbelievable. You guys are going to be living overseas, and you pretty much have been, right?
But at least now we get you.
Now you get me again. Yeah, you've
Both
been away,
all
and now you
round.
come back to Europe, and you get me. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
And Sheebs, on the Sheebs show.
This is a
First show.
Shiva show, after all.
Yeah.
It's been ages since I've seen Sheev.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah. It wasn't.
Wasn't a couple of days ago.
it was like 2 days ago, yeah.
But I'm so happy you guys could make it, and I'm also happy that while settling in on the time zone here, you got to play some Dota.
We did.
We did.
We did. We played 4 pubs yesterday with young Matumba Man. Decided to step in, come down for some Dota too.
Yeah, they were fun. Owen was in a few of the games. Didn't participate in all of them, but he was there.
He played
fun.
in the game.
He played
was
in the
amazing.
games.
I
but-
had one game where I was playing Terrorblade safe lane. I
Okay.
got absolutely destroyed in the lane.
Right.
And then suddenly you've got Matu pushing mid. I think he was playing Venomancer, and he was taking the barracks.
Oh,
I
okay.
literally just sat in the jungle, farming my healer with my Dragon Lance. I got Manta Star by the end of the game.
Well
just
done.
hitting creeps and just A-clicking illusions down the lanes.
Did you
And
just
we
did
won.
nothing?
I don't even think he hit a single building.
I did take a tier 2 at the
You
end of the
took a tier
game,
2.
whilst
Well
we
done.
were also taking the Ancient.
Well
So,
done.
you know,
Okay.
I think I took a little
Congratulations.
bit. to the team.
He was there in spirit.
Hey guys, while we're here, I mean, this is the Shiva show, of course, and
Yes.
all the audiences here. I mean, they're here for the Shiva show. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
And we have some topics to talk about while on the Shiva show. And the first order of business is to point out that this is actually season 9. I let that sink in for a little bit there. Season 9 of the Corsair DreamLeague. And it started a long time ago. I looked it up, 2013. Seems forever ago.
Yeah.
But Ted,
That's
you were
Owen.
present.
That is Owen.
It was Owen.
That was
It
Owen.
was on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What are we flashing back to? Me or Owen?
Ooh, there's stuff because there's two
There
flashbacks.
are double
here.
flashbacks.
There's double
here.
flashbacks.
Yeah, yeah.
We have the double flashbacks. We will double flashback it to Owen first.
Okay, let's do it. Let's talk about Owen. Look at that. How long ago was it? The longest Dota 2 game?
3 years.
3
3
years.
years ago, yes.
And
3 years
one
ago
day.
on one day.
And
yeah,
one
one
day.
day. One
Yeah,
day.
Yeah. And that was like the start of everything for you, wasn't it, really?
It was the first game that I did, which was a game that I was like, oh, this is actually quite, it was a big game for me.
Yeah,
Because at
yeah.
the time, I hadn't really casted any teams like Cloud9. Obviously, Cloud9
Yeah.
at the time were a bit of a big deal.
Yeah.
And also, it was the first time I casted with a co-caster that was, not to be sort of, sort of being mean to the co-caster I've cast before, but it was Purge.
It was known.
And it was Purge.
Yeah,
I'd not casted with Purge or anyone like Purge before on that level. That sort of the community, everyone knew Purge, everyone knows Purge, everyone loved Purge, everyone loves Purge. So when I found out I was casting with Purge, I was like, oh, this is huge.
Yeah.
I was really nervous because I was like, does Purge really want to cast with me? Because I didn't know if Purge
unknown
knew me at the time.
quantity,
Purge
yeah.
was like, oh, what am I having to do? Cast a game with this young British boy?
Well, because he's... Was
That's
he
exactly
American or was
exactly
that
what Kevin said.
an old Englishman? How dare you ask me to cast with him, sir?
I don't know.
Classic Purge.
I can't do American accent. But Purge was really awesome about it. I remember getting into games and we did the series and he did it like Purge handled it like a pro.
He
He
did.
kept going. He kept up with all the craziness.
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
everyone remembers me doing the music and stuff. I mean, you can imagine that. Now I know Purge.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
probably hated that.
Yeah,
if he
oh,
was,
yeah.
if he was
Oh, yeah.
casting a
No.
I mean, I know. Purge is a lot more fun, to be fair, than we give him credit for. But he has this demeanor of this very serious guy.
Dour.
And you can imagine if he's casting this game with this nobody who is just with a soundboard playing stupid music. He's
That's
probably
bad.
like, get me out of it.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
Purge was great in that series. He was, he kept the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And if anything, Purge showed in that a lot of stuff that sure a lot of people look back and they talk about my performance, but I look back and I think Purge, he absolutely nailed that because he kept the analytical role going for 3 hours.
Yeah, that's crazy.
that's not easy. I can keep shouting, I can keep playing music, but he has to keep talking about relevant Dota 2
Right, but
facts.
dude, he does patch note videos that are 4 days
Sure.
long.
That was,
So-
Sure,
that was
yeah,
just
that's
average.
true.
Yeah,
that
that's
wasn't
true.
even average.
That's
that was
that's
low.
easy.
That's
All
true.
right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Purge can keep the ball rolling. We can keep the ball rolling
Oh, nice.
as well because now we're going further back in time and we can actually talk about 2000.
Further back in time.
Further back in time.
Cro-Magnon man.
It
here.
was the kickoff season. It wasn't even called season 1.
It was the DreamLeague kickoff season, yeah. And like I was saying, I actually have that shirt here. I should have worn it. I didn't know. But yeah, that was. When was that?
It was November 2013.
Damn.
You look exactly the same since then.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Yeah, that's kind of weird. That was me, James, Bruno, and Andy.
Yeah.
And Lumi?
Who else was there?
Was
No,
Lumi there yet?
no,
Not
not
yet.
Lumi.
Lumi and Shane. Lumi and Shane.
No,
came later.
They were the next season. I
Pre
think.
Lumi and Shane. I don't know if I even did the first season. I think I just did the kickoff season, and then they dumped me, and then they grabbed other people, and then they got Shane in, then they got Slacks in. I was like, I'm never going to do Dream League again. And then finally, Slacks was too busy to do it, so they finally got me back again. So thanks, Dream League.
I'm very happy to have you here, Ted.
Yeah, me too.
Finally.
I miss Ted. I do miss Ted.
Well, I'm
I think
here now.
everybody does.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of Dota that went into this one. And we got to talk a little bit about that as well.
Oh, look at these two lads.
And we are talking about the qualifiers because there's 8 teams here, sure. 2 of them are invited, actually, based on the DPC points that at the time of invitation. And 6 teams had to go through regional qualifiers. And it was a rough one, not just for the teams, but also for Fogged and Owen. Talk to me about those qualifiers, because from watching at home,
I wouldn't say rough. It was.
it looked like you guys were there all the time.
It was.
I mean,
It was 73 games over 10 days.
Yeah,
Only
easy.
73
It
games.
was a lot of games, but it was a lot of. Well, I mean, it was a lot of good games. There were some games which weren't quite as good, but that's what you sort of expect. In the qualifiers, you can have a real mix of sort of play and such. But at the end of the day, it was worth it because we got some fantastic teams coming through the qualifiers and some sort of different teams that you may not see in a lot of other lands. For instance, I'm very excited to see teams like Immortals come through, a team that did struggle to qualify in a lot of other tournaments, but they managed to make it here. And I think knowing some of the players, we know that these guys, they've definitely got a bit of the land magic potential.
I really enjoyed because we did it all it was like back to back to back, so we got to see like how different regions actually played, like exactly how they played and what they prioritized with heroes and everything. So we were just like, after the first day, we were just like, oh, we know exactly what all these teams are going to pick, and we started like getting the ball rolling. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, 6 teams ended up making it, 8 teams making that total. And while those 8 teams were flying in yesterday, we managed to catch them on camera.
We'll try our best. Here, which is the true Viking? He is the king in the north.
Yeah, first time in Sweden, and it's really cold here.
Sweden is definitely one of the more legendary places when it comes to LAN tournaments, so it's always fun to come back. It was my first LAN in Sweden when I just started out, so.
Very nice country, nice and cold. Yeah, so second time in Sweden, but first time in Stockholm. I think we'll get top 4. Yeah, maybe first. I don't know, just at least top 4. I'd say.
I think the qualifier is quite easy for us.
Barely 1-2-1.
It's still easy. It's still easy.
We want to win this tournament and just get some TSP points for the future, for our future.
You look so dumb.
Make sure you catch that on camera.
DreamHack?
We're not. We represent wherever we go.
And if you were very observant there, you would have noticed that Team Liquid was not in the video, and that is because they only arrived very late last night. So they went straight bed, and we didn't want to interrupt them because they need their beauty sleeps. We have a lot of Dota coming up, and our first series of the day is going to be casted by Owen and Fogged. And you cannot sit on that couch when you do that. So I'm going to ask you to leave. Thank you so much for joining us at the start of the show. and I'll have Thomas play you out.
All right.
Get out.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, we go.
All right,
Let's
thank you
go.
very much. And while they're walking off, we can already welcome in our next guest. That's right, Shiver Show's guest all the time. And it is time for Capitalist to come on in.
Yay! It's Cap.
How
All
you
my
doing
adoring
today?
fans, hello, hello, thank you, thank you.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
Yeah?
good. I think I'm over the worst of my sickness, so I am very ready to be here for DreamLeague.
How long have you been on the road?
Since Katowice. So Katowice, Bucharest, GSE, and now here.
So that's 4 weeks?
And after this?
I think it's more like 5 weeks because Bucharest was a little.
Oh, yeah.
I think Bucharest was kind of like.
Yeah.
I was there in Romania for
Right.
like 2 weeks.
Okay,
almost,
okay.
So, yeah, it's been a wild season so far.
Wow.
It's been a lot of fun to watch. I think DreamLeague will be a nice culmination of another minor system. So I think it should be fun.
You said you had a fever last night, but you
I
say
did.
you feel better now.
I
The fever
do.
is
The
normally
fever
the
broke.
start. So your fever broke, medieval style. It's like the fever's
So-
broken. He might pull through, and now you're going to make it.
Yeah, I had some weird fever dreams last
Okay.
night.
Yeah,
Some
he
of them
told us
involved
about
you,
some of
Ted.
them. No, they did not. You're sharing with William. Whatever happened in that fever dream happened between you and him.
William and I are, since we're sharing a room and William's sick as well, we just spent the whole night coughing back at each other.
I think it might have helped. If you think about it, maybe you guys, you know, your two immune systems got together and
I
you
don't
were
think
like,
that's how that
cough
works at
me
all.
some of those germs because we're missing a key ingredient here to solve the puzzle. Okay, we'll cough some back to you.
If anything, wouldn't that create some sort of super virus?
Yeah, but that was what the fever was, and then the super
Ah.
virus fought the other viruses and won.
So now I have a
This is how
super
it works,
virus
right? Yeah.
inside of me.
But it
that
doesn't
But
beat
you
make
all
also
the
have a
other
super
viruses.
immune system.
Super
fighting
immune
it
mega
for it.
virus.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's, honestly, trust me, dude. I'm a doctor. This is all.
This sounds like terrible Dr.
No,
Ted
no,
advice.
it's 100%.
This sounds like some medieval stuff where they were like, yes, leeches.
Yeah, the leeches.
You must be bled first
Leeches
in
comes
order to get
later.
rid of the bad humors.
The humors. Yeah.
All right, back to the Dota, guys.
Yes.
We have a lot of Dota because it is a double elimination bracket, and it is a best of 3 double elimination bracket. So loads of Dota to be played. Looking at the brackets here, Ted, what are you looking forward to most?
I love a good stand-in.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
Especially when it's stand-ins that force other players in the team to play different roles. That is
Okay.
my favorite thing. Not because I enjoy watching mistakes and stuff, but I just love the excitement of it, of seeing, you know, the tension. Because normally a lot of the time you see these teams and we have a decent idea for how they're going to do,
Yeah.
how they're going to match up and stuff. But once you put that into the mix, it's like, ooh, their star striker is injured now, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I'm intrigued. I'm looking forward to the Liquid game and
Yeah.
the OG game for
It
those.
sounds like you're approaching this from like a football manager style.
I do watch a lot
My
of football.
star striker
Yeah.
is down.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to think of an analogy. I don't know what I'm going to say. All right. Well, you know, we could talk about it in Dota terms, but we do that all the time.
Yeah.
I'm going to mix it
Dota
up.
is much more exciting than Football Manager. I watched about 2 minutes of Ted streaming that one time. Ooh, that was.
That's some game, dude.
I was real nap-inducing.
Shout out to Phil Jones.
But Liquid versus Pain is not until the very end of the day. We can take a look at the schedule as we have it for today. And we are going to start off with OG Fnatic, end the day with Liquid versus Pain. I think the best thing for me is that we're going to see all 8 teams today. So we get a feel of where they stand, so to speak. What are you looking forward to most, Cap?
You know what I'm looking forward to most is the fact that I was looking at that bracket and it was double elimination, best of 3.
Why do you like that?
Because I think it's the best format for Dota 2. Now, I will always forgive any tournament that wants to be able to do something different. I think Swiss groups is a really interesting idea. But one of the things that for me in Dota 2 and Dota 2 tournaments is that if you want the absolute best format, it has to be like you can never go out in a best of 1. And you should always be able to play at least one best of 3 before you go out of a tournament. And then the other thing is that I feel like Dota 2 is a double elimination game because there are so many adjustments to be made. Like nobody wants a story of the International, for example, and being this one team figured something out and they beat everybody with it. Because that's what double elimination allows you. You lose something in strategy and you can go back and look at it, break it down, and come up with your own counter to it.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it goes all about adapting to to what's thrown at you, basically. And that is something that that the team that we're going to see look into first had to do as well. We are having as first series of the day, it's going to be OG versus Fnatic. And to talk about OG a little bit, we actually had the chance to, well, rather, Owen had the chance to talk to S4 right before the game. All right, we'll get back to you about that one.
We said Owen talked to him. We didn't say that we were going to listen in on the conversation. It was just a piece of news.
You want to try again?
Owen talked to him. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
No, let's try again.
Yep, I'm here with S4 as he's getting ready for his first series here at DreamLeague Season 9. S4, we have we all know that you guys, you're playing with a bit of a change here. You have got Mad into the team. What is sort of the dynamic like? Are you guys ready to sort of prove something big with Seb stepping out?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit more carrying to do because we're playing with Seb and it's not as good of a player. So. No, but yeah, it's a different dynamic, but it's I think we're gonna do good.
Not as good of a player. Now it was a little bit of a wonky voice there, but that's definitely something that I picked out of that as far as, you know what? Not as good of a player. That doesn't bode well. He didn't seem very comfortable or confident, Ted.
No, I'm also intrigued by your use of the word wonky. That's.
It sounded like they were assimilated by the Borg.
Yeah, I think
but maybe that would make for a good Dota 2
That
team,
would be interesting.
right? You were all in a part of the same hive mind.
Yeah.
What went things
wrong
would never go wrong. You decide to retreat, everyone retreats.
Everyone retreats.
Instantly.
About playing against 5 open AI bots, it would be, pretty cool.
But I think there is, for me at least, the strategy that OG is taking is definitely a lot different than they had when they were playing with Resolution. And that strategy, it appears to be working for them. After all, it worked for them in the MDL qualifiers. They managed to make their way pretty aggressively. They actually had, I'm not sure if they actually dropped any games out of that qualifier, maybe 1 or 2, but they definitely looked like the most dominant team for sure. And the strategy does fit into what everybody else is running right now, which is just generally very aggressive, 3 kind of semi-cores is what I'm looking at when I watch OG's drafts.
Now they're going up against Fnatic. And they have been looking pretty good as well. Maybe even a little bit better. They have been obviously attending more LANs, and they get a lot more experience against those international teams. And one series in particular for Fnatic stands out, of course. Last Saturday, we had Fnatic versus Na'Vi. And
it was a great series.
It was a great series, but it was also typical, somewhat typical Fnatic, that all those games went to late game.
Yeah, that just seems to be a thing that happens when Envy's on the team, I think. Obviously, he likes that, he likes the farm and he likes that kind of style. It does make it very exciting, but it's also like kind of, they're on a precipice, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, all it takes is like one mistake, and the whole thing falls over. And I think maybe that early aggression and push sort of stuff is maybe a little more forgiving. You can lose a fight and regroup. But they're like, let's take it ultra late and let's ride the wave, and then they're just like, you got to jump off at some point, but sometimes they jump left and sometimes they jump right.
So Envy's some sort of like wild daredevil in your mind.
Yeah,
He's just like an adrenaline junkie.
Exactly.
That doesn't sound like anything like the Jackie Mao that I know of.
I'm not in real life.
Okay, but
I'm saying
in the game.
In the game,
okay.
he's like, he's like that guy. You know, at the end of the Avengers movie when Iron Man is shooting up into space, and you think,
spoilers.
This is crazy. Sorry, spoilers. I think he's like that. He's like Iron Man shooting up into space, and you think, is he gonna make it? Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes the door closes, and they're just like, oh yeah, Iron Man's dead.
See, I was thinking he was just some sort of mild-mannered anime protagonist, but once he gets into his game or the mode or whatever it is,
I'm not gonna make an anime reference, Cap. You know that.
I know. I'm only making it just because you're here.
I don't even like saying the word.
Say it with me, Ted. Anime.
I can't.
All right. Who do you think is going to take it? That's the question, because they are both in very different shapes. OG obviously playing with Seb as a stand-in.
Yeah.
Does that put an easy edge over to Fnatic?
No. No, not at all. Because honestly, Fnatic should have beat Na'Vi, and they didn't.
Yeah.
I think both these two teams, I think in some ways they have something to prove. At least Sebastian should have something to prove for playing with OG. After all, he was He was actually #1 on the European ladder board at some point in time, right? So I think he has something to prove. I think OG as a whole wants to be able to prove that they can move forward without resolution. Meanwhile, Fnatic, a team that should have done a lot better this season than they actually have. So this is definitely, I think, at least in my mind, this is the best series to open up this tournament with. And I'm going to give you an answer that is a little bit waffling here. I'm going to say the team that wins is going to be the team that has Death Prophet the most.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Because from what I've heard, and I wasn't able to watch the games for the MDL qualifier, from what I've heard, when Mad played mid, he played Death Prophet, and they basically won all the games with Death Prophet.
So mid-Mad, not bad, is what you're saying?
Mid-Mad, Death Prophet, not bad.
Okay. I would say this. People talk about stand-ins a lot, right?
Yeah.
And like subs. And do you have subs that are like Mad can stand in like a great player, and then you have subs like when DC had Slacks as their technical substitute. Right, that would have been a disaster.
Yes.
Okay. This is not a disaster. This is fine. So I think we're going to see OG turn up, and it'll be great. Yeah.
Because what is?
So you think OG is going to be?
I think they'll do well. Yeah. I'm gonna back them. I'm gonna back them.
So what is Fnatic lacking here? Why can't they persuade you? They've got like DJ and Abed, the 2-star players.
I'll be honest with you. I love watching them play. I love watching them play.
Yeah.
But do they have the key to actually unlock winning games consistently?
Is this an envy thing, Ted? Be honest now.
It's an anime thing. Is it? Okay. I can't back him.
You can't back anybody who's an anime fan?
No, I can't even back him.
What about Liquid? They had their 5 avatars in Dota, all anime.
I'm not saying I approve of it, but I'm sure it was ironic.
It was ironic. All right. Sure.
Had to be. Otherwise, I'll have a word with them.
I think that if OG is going to win, it's mostly going to be off of their early game. They're running some super aggressive lineups. That's why, for me, it was Death Prophet for both sides. Actually, it's for OG. It is, at least right now, according to their MTL games, it's Viper or Death Prophet, one of the two. And then on Fnatic side, it is, for them, I believe it's in this order, Gyrocopter, Razor, Death Prophet. That's like their priority of their like signature heroes that they're going to try and pull out in the first 3 pickups. So both of them are favoring like a core very heavily in that first opening 1-2 pickups. And both of them are really good with those cores. So
we actually saw we saw Cap pointing during that. That's because you know we've been talking about our audience. Every time you hear people clapping, that's actually the players because they are our audience.
Yeah, we literally are the audience.
Yeah.
We all know how much the players love Dota 2 analysts. So
yeah, they love it. They love it. They know we talk sense, especially those of us with limited 3K experience. Like, you know, they love hearing what I have to say about how they're doing and what they should have picked.
After all, Envy did say that he liked one of your videos, right?
That was a long time ago.
Well, he loved it so much that it still holds with him today.
I'm sure that's it.
It's like that Animage video, Ted.
That was the best.
That was what got me into playing competitive Dota 2. What if he told you that?
No. Well, that would be terrifying. But also, I think we were in an elevator and we were both sort of stuck for something to say. And he just sort of went, I liked your Animage vid, as if I was like looking at him, like seething. But I wasn't. I was just chilling. I was thinking, well, I don't really know what to say to Envy because I've never really met him other than saying, hey, Envy, what's up? But you know.
You both know who each other
are.
are.
And then we just both hurried out the other way and went our separate ways. Yeah, it was funny.
So it was Envy's attempt. See, I thought you would be the welcoming one. I thought you would be the one who threw out an icebreaker.
How long have you known me for? When have I been the welcoming guy? That you're like, Ted's the one who's like life and soul?
Ted's got like this outer shell that you have to get through at first.
It's true. Yeah.
But I think elevator's tough one because you know someone's going off very soon.
Yeah.
You can't really start up a long conversation.
Exactly.
And if you've seen someone like a lot and you're like, hey, and you've said hello throughout the day like 4 times, and then you're in an elevator and then, you know, you feel like you already have the connection.
Yeah, what are you going to talk about?
Don't really have anything to say.
Yeah.
It's even more awkward if you are in the elevator with a player and they've just lost a series. Just that sort of air.
Hanging around
you're just like, I don't want to be here. Like what are you supposed to do? Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like,
no, I think it's one of those things. Being backstage after the games and stuff is actually, especially at TI when someone's just been knocked out.
Yeah.
And you're like walking, you happen to have to walk past them and they're looking at you and they're sort of, sometimes they're crying. I mean, we've seen like people just breaking down completely and you just walk past, you're like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I just say nothing. Because I'm like, they don't want to hear from me.
You know, last
so
TI?
I just shuffle past.
Last TI I was, I I was walking backstage, and you know how they have the very big elevators where like they have to be fitting loads of.
They're like cargo lifts.
Yeah, cargo lifts. And I was in a cargo lift, and you know, I don't know. I was doing something. I had to go somewhere, and the game ended. So I don't know what happened. And I got into an elevator, and Virtus Pro just comes into the elevator with me. They just lost.
Oh man.
And it was like I did not know, but obviously then you do know because it's very like the demeanor is very obvious. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
That is just hard.
Did they yell at each other though?
No, they were absolutely quiet.
Okay, so I have a story that is the exact same, except for it was LGD who came in and they just lost and they were yelling